Yeah, so the stroke rate was something that I've never paid a lot of attention to. I mean, I've sort of just casually looked at it.
Hmm.
But last year, leading up to the event, you posted some workouts that had some specific stroke rate work, and I played around with that and found that wow, I'm way more efficient at actually a lower stroke rate than I am at higher stroke rates. And so I went from someone who normally would row at like 30 to 34. And now during Row Forever last year, I was way more comfortable at like 26. Can you talk a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
about stroke rate and how that affects the work that you're doing?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. So stroke rate is, I mean, real simply, you need to think about your overall speed, and you have two ways of getting speed. You can do it with more power per stroke, or you can do it with higher rate, so more strokes per minute, right? And what you need to do is you need to figure out what's best for you as an athlete. So what you'll find is like bigger athletes or stronger athletes will tend to rate lower than lighter athletes,
Yeah,
right? Because we're just trying to as much power or length, then you need to take more strokes per minute, right?
right.
That said, you probably found more efficiency at a 26 because again, you weren't all those little inefficiencies you had at a 34 really pile up,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I
It
just throw a
makes it,
caution to the wind at 34.
yeah, yeah. And it makes it really hard. I mean, it's like if someone were running and you're like, hey, I want your cadence at 170, right? But they don't have the technique to do that.
Right.
It's just going to break down really quickly, and it's just going to make it so that they're not able to continue, right? So
Yep.
starting a little slower, learning how to do it correctly, like tenths of a second per stroke is what you're talking about. If it's 30 strokes a minute, then you're getting a stroke every 2 seconds.
Right.
If it's 20 strokes a minute, right, you're looking at a stroke every 3 seconds.
Right.
It's not that much, but it feels like forever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And I always just assume because I have a more of an endurance background that it made
Hmm.
sense that I'm not a power guy. I'm not a big, powerful person. So it makes
Hmm.
sense for me to go faster because I can sustain that because I'm an endurance guy. And just doing the cadence or the stroke rate work really showed me that I was totally wrong. And it just
Hmm.
kind of flipped my whole perspective of rowing on its head, which was really cool.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and I think especially like you find those efficiencies at the low rate, and you're an example of a guy that probably like in a 2K race you would rate higher. You're going to be able to hold that higher rate more effectively.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I just try not to do 2Ks very often.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.